Morning, everybody. Welcome to the Monday, March 3rd regular meeting of the Harnett County Board of Commissioners. At this time, I'll call the meeting to order and ask Commissioner Eddie Jaggers to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance and invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. And we follow, Lord, as we call on you this day, Lord. We're thankful we come and be about the county's business this day, Lord. We just ask that you would give us the guidance that we need to be able to make the decisions that have to be made, Lord. Bless this meeting and keep us all safe. We ask things in your name.
Thank you, sir. I'll consider any additions and deletions to the published agenda.
Move to approve the agenda as printed, Mr. Chairman.
Second. I have a motion and a second to approve the published agenda. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries unanimously, Madam Clerk. Do I hear a motion for the consent agenda?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries as well. All right, this time we will have a special presentation. If I would have
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Mr. Scott Tart, if you would come up, sir.
Come on over here, Scott. For those of you who weren't here last 2 weeks ago, we had a presentation for all the folks that donated for the Western North Carolina Relief. And Mr. Tart was one of the first ones that called and was very generous in his donation. And we just wanted to take a minute to recognize you and your family if they want to come up. Want to present you with this plaque. So, thank you for everything you've done. Desiree will get photos here for you.
All right. At this time, I'll open the floor for a public comment period. Period consists of an hour. We don't have that many people signed up. Total of 5 minutes for each presentation. At first, I have Mr. Larry Mitchell, sir. Morning.
Good morning, honorable commissioners, county manager, and everybody that's attending. My name is Larry Mitchell. I live at 478 Century Drive in Cameron, North Carolina, District 1 voter. My topic today is going to be Keep Harnett Beautiful program. I am a volunteer for the soil and water conservation. I spend about 5-6 days a week out picking up litter along our rural roads. It's a challenge. And I'm not here to blame anybody in this room or the citizens out that live in our county. But it's something that we need to pay attention to as we compare our county to other counties. I'd like to make one comment. My brother passed away down in Fort Myers, Florida, and I drove down Wednesday. The GPS took me through the rural roads of Florida, and they are beautiful. And I hardly saw any litter along the roads, even Georgia when I drove through there. More people, more vehicles, and more products litter is associated with social, economic, and environmental issues. I did some research on the internet that have topics of this nature. Some people litter unintentionally, others admit to intentionally throwing garbage out of their moving vehicles. Every county department is affected by what we have. And I want to go through some of them. I do have some pictures. This is Shady Grove Road. This is what I picked up last week. And you notice this picture here, there must be a beauty salon or operation. But like this hair or wig or whatever it is, litters Shady Grove Road for at least a quarter of a mile. Next slide, please. This is the type of litter that I find along this road, Shady Grove Road, off to the right, down in the ditch, and onto the private property. There must be 30, 40 tires still laying out there that I cannot reach. But the ones that are close to the road, I do pile them up for Department of Transportation to pick up. That center bag, if it stays out too long, the wildlife, they get the trash. They smell the fast food bags and stuff that I pick up, and they try to get inside of it. So you can't leave it. So that means I have to re-bag this, more effort to collect this. Next slide. See the amount of tires. I do use safety precautions out there. I wear my safety vest. I have orange cones out there, but the traffic really buzzes by, and it's a real becomes a safety issue. Next slide. While the bags were waiting for Dot to come out, this is the new trash thrown right on top of the old bags that I bagged. That dog food bag that I pulled out of the ditch, it's hard to believe, but what I found in there is a dead dog. Somebody bagged that dog and put it down in the ditch. Very upsetting. I did contact Deputy Ivy. He came out and looked at the dog. It has no chip on the dog. It is an older dog. Department of Transportation will pick it up. Next slide. This is the intersection of Buddy Barefoot Road and Shady Grove Road. 8 months ago, trash was piled up here. It was deep. It had furniture, beds, environmental hazard stuff. This is the trash we found, and I called Deputy Ivy, and we found mail in there, and it was excellent. Deputy Ivy contacted those individuals, and he gave them a choice, receive a summons or come out here today and pick this trash up. They were out there picking it back up. There was at least 6 5-gallon paint cans out there, antifreeze bottles, oil cans that were leaking the old oil onto the road. And DOT put those barriers up to stop people from going back there and throwing more trash out there. We do have a county soil and water conservation sign out there, but they still do not abide by it. Next slide, please. Okay. Every department is affected by our litter on our roads. Economic development. We talked about prospective industry with unsightly roads means if we have new industry coming in our county and they drive out to an area and they see all the litter on the roads, what are they thinking? That's a thing that we need to think about when have prospective buyers to buy property. Eyes tell a story. So what kind of story does the prospective buyer receive? Development services. Harnett County Code Enforcement Dashboard has 90 open
Sir, that was
cases.
that was the timer on that one. She had to set a separate timer because of
Okay. So how much time I got?
you got 10 seconds to wrap it up.
Okay. I'm asking for a second environmental deputy to our budget because Deputy Ivy has to cover 901 square miles of the county. So if I call him with a severe litter problem, he has to drive all the way from the other side of the county. So I'm asking if we can fund and support a second environmental deputy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Sir Jerry Reese.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yep, and there's Jerry Rivas. There's a couple of things I want to discuss. First of all, part of the litter problem, I believe, is we still have some fly-by-night trash companies operating in this county. I think one of them is either called ALS or ATS. They actually have a yard at 650 Twin Ponds Road. It's a lot, formerly a house owned by former Commissioner Joe Miller. that these drunken drug addicts burned to the ground about 3 years ago. But now they have these homemade trash trucks. They're broken down, pieces of junk, 30-year-old Ford pickup trucks with slab-sided boxes on the back of them made out of plywood. That place, 650 Twin Ponds Road, there's people that are living there in tents or in old travel trailers. I mean, little tiny ones. I know for a fact there's no running water there. There's no sewage there. I don't know how these people are living there, but they're living there. And then there's another one, I think the address is about 160 Twin Ponds Road, where people are running some kind of construction business out of their house, and the yard looks like a Mogadishu junkyard. I understand we're zoned RA 20, possibly RA 10, but residential and agriculture, I grew up in Kansas. I'm an old farm boy. Agriculture means farming. Doesn't mean running a garbage service out of your house. I mean, come on, seriously. The other thing is last month, there was a resolution that was tabled about taking away Western Harnett High School. And it really bothered me that, first of all, I thought it smacked of voter suppression. It was very poorly worded and presented resolution. I don't think it should have been done. And then I noticed Commissioner Matthews, he's a county commissioner. He's a superintendent of schools. And it seemed like he's trying to usurp some of the authority of the Board of Elections. And I would point out, I think, and this is just my personal opinion, but sir, I think you should resign as a county commissioner, because if you're going to be the superintendent of schools, you need to spend more time devoting your time to that job, because in 2023, 2024, 54% of Harnett County schools were underperforming. I think you need to focus on that and not worry about what the Board of Elections is doing. The other thing I wanted to talk about, and this is nothing personal, this is nothing against anybody, but I thought it odd that the county manager, Mr. Trout, hired Brad Abate to be the county airport manager, and the commissioners had to find out about it by reading it in the newspaper. I think there needs to be some better communication between you, sir, and these 5 people. I still advocate that we abolish the office of sheriff and have a county police department, so that you folks who control the money can have more control over what goes on. I still haven't heard about body cameras or dash cameras, except the same old regurgitated lies that come out of that white-haired, I'm not going to say what I want to say about him, the sheriff. The other thing is, God, I hate getting old. I just forgot what I was going to say. It's probably to my benefit. At least the deputies won't have to be mean. Why do we have a deputy who is under indictment for 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter, still putting on a damn badge and a gun and going to work every day? I got accused of assault 3 years ago and had my concealed carry license pulled for a year until I was finally found innocent. Why has this guy still got a job? Why is he drawing a paycheck? The county paid $4 million to the heirs of Brian and Patricia Finch. Y'all remember that name? That this idiot driving 95 miles an hour with no lights and sirens ran a red light and killed these 2 poor innocent people. $4 million. Does that bring him back? Where's the justice? It's almost 2 years to the day. And the day that that happened, I was in this chamber and complained about that deputy's driving. That day. That day. I plan on being in the courtroom in June when that moron goes to trial, because I want to see how that gets covered up and rigged.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Lenny Kaluza.
Good morning again. Saying, hopefully this will be the last time I come up and talk about what I'm going to talk about. But I live at 5351 Marvin Drive here in Anderson Creek area. This is reference to the abomination of the house that's next to me that's listed as 5331. The people that bought the house, the flip company, they did a lot of work on that, but they put lipstick on a pig because it's still a pig. There's still some issues with that house. In the last 2 weeks, I've talked to Mr. Coley Price, who has helped me out a lot. Talked to Oliver Toldstorff, forgive me if I say the name wrong, Sean at the Public Waters, and then a big shout out to Kyle Holder at the Permits Division. He come back out the day I was up here. I seen him back at my place or the neighbor's place, and we talked and we discussed a bunch of things. So I'm getting a lot of support for majority of anything that I try to do, but some of the stuff in the county, one branch to another branch to another branch, there might as well be a 10-foot wall. Everybody doesn't, it takes time, I understand, but there's no communication across the board for a lot of the stuff about when you're out there and you see something that's that bad and it's not in your lane, you can let somebody else in the county know. No, they just kind of put their head in the ground. That's my perception of it. But coming up here talking to people, I get to know more. They're vested in the thing. The biggest thing is the sewer, the septic tank at that house is gone. And they never did tie into the public sewer or the county sewer system. And they're not gonna do it unless somebody up here makes them do it. And that's all a legal thing, and that's gotta take time. But that's my last big concern for that house that's next to me. But like I said, they put lipstick on a pig. It's still a pig, it's just got lipstick on it. And whoever buys that house, I hope they're smart enough to 1, 2, and 3, get a building inspection, get a septic tank inspection, and get a termite inspection. Because they had to physically pull the floors and floor joists out of that place because sewage was flowing underneath the house and had been doing it for years. And its smell has been ungodly for me. But we'll see how that works out. But whoever buys that house next to me, and it's listed on 15 different websites now for realtors. So the address is 5331 Marvin Drive. That's all I got. Thank you. But I'll say big shout out to everybody that has helped me. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Kate Reichert.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
My name is Kate Reichert. I live at 6711 River Road, Fuquay Varina. At the February 11 work session, the Director of the United Way of Lee County, Kendra Miller, requested your permission to conduct a United Way campaign for our county employees. As the largest employer in the county, a partnership with the United Way of Lee would have a significant impact on the ability of the United Way to meet the needs of our citizens. The United Way has a proven track record of addressing critical needs in our county. Since 2019, they have provided $47,000 in funding to 6 Harnett County nonprofits. In the current year, they're supporting 4 agencies with $13,450. At a time when Harnett County is facing a major budget crisis with 27 of our 29 schools over capacity and infrastructure struggling to keep up with unprecedented residential growth and the loss of our low wealth status, our financial resources are stretched thin. The shortage of commercial tax revenue has left us in a difficult position, making it more important than ever to seek alternative funding sources to support those in need. 2 years ago, the Commission voted to not fund the nonprofit organizations in the county. With the current budget challenges, it is conceivable that the decision could be repeated this year. While tough financial choices must be made, turning away additional opportunities to help our most vulnerable residents is not the answer. Supporting the United Way's Employee Capital Campaign would provide a meaningful and convenient way for employees to give back to the community. The United Way is a long and trusted partner in the food security, housing stability, and educational support. By allowing this campaign to move forward, you would be demonstrating leadership and a commitment to the well-being of all Harnett County residents. Rejecting this opportunity would mean leaving valuable resources on the table. I urge you to approve this initiative and empower county employees to contribute to solutions that will make a lasting difference. Let's take a step forward in building a stronger, more resilient Harnett County. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Miss Rebecca Brock.
Good morning, Commissioners. Rebecca Brock, 5220 Christian Light Road. I want to talk about Mr. Matthews serving as a commissioner as well as the school board superintendent. Thank you for holding the door open this morning, Mr. Matthews. I know we're at odds with how you hold both positions here. And Mr. Appel, thank you for your legal review of the legalities that you all must have reviewed when you decided to, again, run, as well as knowing that you would be superintendent. I go with the fact that there are more people than myself and Jerry Rivas who believe that you ought to resign and step down as commissioner because you have a very large, two large constituencies to serve. And the second constituency at the Board of Education, or the education system, is quite large and quite needs quite a bit of attention. So as an ethical thing, not as a legal thing, I am asking that you step down from your position. Moving on. You guys are going to consider a resolution on the NC County 250 program for the next year's 250th anniversary of the start of our country. That's a great thing. I'm sure you want to apply for the grants that it has, but I want to review with you what the program says is to be intentionally inclusive in that committee, as well as picking one of the three themes that they have: a gathering of voices for the celebration, or visions of freedom, or common ground. But that committee that you appoint from the citizens of Harnett County, basically it says, we want to be sure all stories, including those that may have been left out of previous commemorations, such as African Americans, American Indians, women, children, loyalists, are shared during the 250th. Remember, sections of your community that are often not included in narratives around the American Revolution, such as our Asian, Hispanic, Jewish, Latin, LGBTQ, Muslim, Pacific Islander, Puerto Rican, and South Asian communities be part of that committee. So I'm asking you, when you consider appointing committee members, that you include all of the voices here that are living in Harnett County. Lastly, I'd like to wish both Kimberly and Brent Trout Godspeed to your trip to New York. I certainly hope you can get a good bond rating, because I know that we have a school budget coming up that needs money for all sorts of things. Buildings, we need money for civic buildings. So I'm hoping that that goes well for you all. No attack here meant, Mr. Matthews, just a request, ethical request, that you focus on the schools. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. This time, I will now close the floor for public comment, and we'll move on to the county manager's report. Mr. Trout.
Excuse me, may I ask a question?
Sure, ma'am.
And this is to Mr. Trout. Where are we at on the nonprofit committee agreement, a bylaw?
The nonprofit committee at the last budget discussion, the board decided not to pursue with granting funding to any of the nonprofits, and so a committee was not formed. And we stand ready if the board chooses to create such funding and create the committee if the board determines that's what they would like to do.
Well, I certainly would like for it to be brought back to the board, and I don't remember voting it down.
Well, there was actually, you're right, ma'am, there was no vote down. It was just not included within the budget. There was through the discussion at the budget, no one said, let's put funding towards the nonprofit organization.
Well, I consider that you assume that we were through with the nonprofit committee. I'm asking that at some point we revisit that. Because if this board is going to give money to nonprofit organizations, we should have something in place, some kind of bylaws, agreement or something. Instead of this board agreeing to give money to nonprofits, some nonprofits, but not all nonprofits. It is wrong. I'm standing here to say it is wrong. From now on, I'm asking that this board not give any money to any nonprofit until we have a nonprofit agreement in place. And that was something that we agreed to do, was to bring it back. And for the board to decide on what the bylaws would be. I don't remember revisiting that.
Okay, we can pursue that if the board would, during the budget timeframe.
We can get together and we can rediscuss that. And,
Sure.
Kind of see what the bylaws and the committee would look like again if we decide to reapproach that.
Yes, sir, will do.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, one more thing, if you could. Can we get on the work session next week and talking about the trash stuff? And I've had issues with some trash stuff. Let's put it on, can we add an item to the work session next week? Let's talk about the trash in Harnett County and all that stuff, so we can have a full-fledged conversation about trying to help this situation somehow or another. And I don't know what all the options are, but I think as a commission board, we need to discuss it.
Will do.
Can we add that to the agenda for next week, please?
Thank you.
Proceed with the county manager's report, sir.
Okay. The first item I have is I want to mention, bring up that we have a town hall meeting scheduled for March 11th at 6 p.m. at the Angier Depot. This particular town hall meeting is sponsored by Commissioner Matthews and Commissioner Jaggers. So meet us there if you're interested at 6 p.m. I left a flyer on your desk today regarding the sharps container that's now at the health department. This is one of those safety things that the health department was able to secure. It's an opportunity to allow a safe place to dispose of sharps in containers, needles, etc. I need a motion to approve the budget amendments.
So moved.
A motion and a second to approve the budget amendments as requested by the finance officer. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Budget amendments passed, Madam Clerk. All right,
So my next item is the consideration of a resolution by Harnett County Board of Commissioners confirming the creation of the America 250 NC County Committee. As was mentioned, I added this item based on the fact that the deadline is approaching and we need to have this approved. What started this is an opportunity from the Cultural Affairs Department of North Carolina, where they're providing grants to counties to form and create exhibits and other types of ways to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. What this would do is provide us $10,000 of funding that the committee could use to research and develop some type of an exhibit, lecture, whatever the committee would deem the best way to celebrate our 250th anniversary. There is no match required for this grant, and the funding is fairly simple. As was mentioned, they would need to look at determining a theme. It is to be inclusive. Ms. Brock is correct. Those types of efforts will be made, and we will search for anyone interested in this type of thing and try and make it as diverse as we can to represent. You know, typically the focus is on those individuals that participated in assisting, like our namesake for this county, Mr. Harnett. Harnett County has got a long history as you look at his participation in the different areas of the Revolutionary War. He was way out there in front of many other individuals. So I think we have a rich history here in this county as it relates to the Revolutionary War, and I think we need to do something to highlight that in the coming year.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Matthews, or Commissioner Matthews, would you do the honor and read the resolution, please?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'd be happy to. Resolution by the Harnett County Board of Commissioners confirming the creation of America 250 NC County Committee. Whereas the United States is going to be celebrating the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence in the year 1776, and whereas Harnett County plans to have its own local county celebration of this anniversary, and whereas Harnett County has many individuals that played a prominent role in the Revolutionary War that are worthy of remembering and celebrating, and whereas a committee is being formed to research and develop information about the Harnett County Revolutionary War figures in order to create an exhibit to highlight the importance of these people to our country's creation, and whereas the committee will consist of as many members as would like to participate in the work necessary to conduct this celebration. The members of the committee shall be county employees as needed and citizens of the county. And whereas the committee will be formed for the purpose of this celebration event and will be disbanded at the completion of the event or December 31st, 2026, whichever comes first. Now therefore be it resolved that the Harnett County Board of Commissioners create an ad hoc committee for the purposes of conducting an America 250 NC County Committee to conduct all necessary activities to create a Revolutionary War exhibit and corresponding events in 2026. The committee is authorized to accept the receipts of a grant from America 250 NC to conduct these activities. They are authorized to make expenditures allowed according to the grant guidelines. The committee will disband no later than December 31st, 2026. Be it further resolved that the county manager is to organize the creation of the committee and accept members to the committee. The committee will then select a chair and other members as needed from its members to conduct business. The committee is charged with conducting research and creating exhibits highlighting the Harnett County individuals that played a part in the history of the Revolutionary War and the cause of freedom that occurred in 1776. Duly adopted this third day of March, 2025. Matthew B. Nickel, Chairman, Harnett County Board of Commissioners.
Thank you, sir. Do I hear a motion on the resolution?
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the resolution for the creation of America 250 NC County Committee. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Resolution passes.
Thank you.
New business. Consider a request from the Harnett County Public Library for approval to accept an ALA Libraries grant. Ms. Kimberly, good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm here today representing Harnett County Public Library System. 4 of our municipal branches applied for this Library Transforming Communities grant, and all 4 of them were awarded the grant in the amount of $10,000 each. It is a non-matching fund grant, so there would be no matching funds from the county. These are ADA compliance grants, so each of the branches will be using those funds towards the building or the parking area of the libraries. And we are just asking for permission to accept those grants today.
Questions or comments? Pleasure of the board.
Motion to approve it.
Motion second and third to approve the request to accept this grant. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Carries unanimously. Mr. Council, do we have a need for closed session?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Outstanding. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion and second to adjourn. We're adjourned.